Hey everyone, how you doing? If you are new here, I'm Nicol Concilio and welcome to the video, guys. I'm feeling a little savage today. So, I had recently just got in the mail the new Huda Beauty Rose Gold palette. Now, I'm really glad that they sent this little, instructional card, about the palette, because when I first opened it up, I was like, doesn't she already have a palette that looks exactly like this? And this apparently is the Rose Gold Remastered palette. So, I'm pretty sure it's identical to the first palette. Only thing different is obviously the packaging. You get this little shadow protector in here, which is actually pretty thick. You get a full-size mirror, and the outside is Huda with some if you move the palette, you get that kind of shiftiness going on. So there has been a lot of tea going on about this palette, and I gotta say, it is, in my opinion, it is a little weird. It is a little odd that, this is a remastered palette. In my opinion, why didn't she just make another palette? I don't know. Basically, what the whole deal is that her first eyeshadow palette, they weren't up to par on the most recent palette, which was the Desert Dusk palette, which you guys know I really actually didn't care for that palette. I thought that it was just a little bit, overpriced, in my opinion, for, what you got. And this is no hate, no shade towards Huda. I actually really love Huda. I think that she's an amazing artist and just amazing. Her empire is amazing. So this is no hate on her. This is truly just reviewing the products. I have to be honest with you guys. I don't generally like or care for Huda's products. The only thing that I do really like is her lashes. I think her lashes are pretty good, and some of her liquid lipsticks I really like. So with her shadows, I've always been kind of iffy with them. So this will definitely be a good thing for me to see the whole remastered situation. Now, I'm going to look up on my phone. I'm pretty sure these are literally the same exact shadows. Yeah, this is literally the exact same. I'm looking on Google and stuff like that. They're the exact same colors. And it seems to be that they're the same exact shadow names as well. Oh, okay, I stand corrected here. They're not the same exact names. A lot of them are the same, but some are different. So yeah, this is what the palette used to look like, and this is what the palette looks like right now. So there are some differences, but for the most part, this is an identical palette, literally almost identical to her first palette. And I know that there was some drama on her swatches. It looked like some of her swatches were already pre-swatched, and the models or the hand models were just going over the pre-swatches. So that was a little bit shady, in my opinion. I mean, honestly, I've said this so many times on my channels, swatches to me, I don't really give a shit about swatches. I don't really care. I want to see how they perform on my eye. Of course, you use a swatch to see the color and everything like that and how that goes. But for me, I don't know. I don't really give a shit about swatches. So I am going to just pick up some random shades here and put the swatches on the back of my hand, because I know that you guys do really like when I swatch. Now, okay, this shade right here, Blessed, this almost feels like a cream. It's so weird. I don't know if you guys can see that, but the whole thing just kind of foiled up and it feels really weird. Okay, that's super interesting. And I'll just do one more and we will do some swatches on the back of my hand. Now there is nothing on the back of my hand. So I would say that's pretty pigmented for a red. This shade is not pigmented at all. The one that I said felt like cream. Don't like that shade whatsoever, just right off the bat. That one is not. That is not pigmented. For a shimmer, that's really not good. And then this one right here, our last shade, that one's pretty pigmented. I would say that one and the first one are the most pigmented. So right away, I am a little bit iffy about the swatches. I'll do a couple more and let my hand dry here, and we'll do some more. But it's not looking pretty. And I'm really, really trying to go in with this with a full head, a full clean slate, a full whatever, despite my feelings for her past palettes. So I'm going to swatch this black right here, and I'm pressing pretty hard, and even the black is kind of swatching, kind of patchy just alone on my finger. I don't feel like you should have to dig into an eyeshadow palette for it to really show up. But y'all, I'm really trying to be open-minded on this. I don't want anyone to be well, you don't like Huda. It has nothing to do with that. I actually think she's amazing. So this is the black. This is the taupe. This is a pink matte. Now that is pigmented. That swatched beautifully. And then this right here is the rose gold. Again, I mean, this could be a lot more pigmented, I feel like. You know what I mean? I don't know. But let's enough with the swatches here. Let's try to do an eyeshadow look on the eye. And I think I want to do kind of like, what should we do here? So I think what I'm going to do is use this little card that the eyeshadows came with and kind of create like a little winged out situation going on. Or I also have some tape. I don't know where it went. I got some special tape from Sephora. I've used it in a couple of videos, but my dad was in from New York and he was being such a great dad and helping me clean my beauty room, and I don't know where he put the tape. But it's okay. I'm gonna try to find it. Or I can't find the tape. So anyway, let's just go on in. I am first gonna go into the shade Sandalwood right here. And as you guys can see, there is fallout. You know what? I'm gonna zoom y'all on in so we can get a better look at everything. So give me 1 second. Okay, so this is me tapping very lightly into the product and there is fallout. I'm not sure if you are able to pick that up on the camera, but there is some fallout. And I am going to start on this eye and I'm gonna line it up. And the thing is, since I have this here, I'm not going to want to move the card like at all. Otherwise, it's not going to be how I want it to be. It's not going to be a true cat eye. And I'm going in with my Morphe M513 brush just to get this started. Switching over to my Morphe M433. So since I can't really, okay, I am gonna take the shade right next to it, which is called Henna. And again, we have some insane fallout going on, but ooh, that's pretty pigmented. Was not expecting that to be that pigmented, so that was very surprising, but in a good way, And then that same shade in the bottom row called Cocoa, which is 2 shades in from the black. I'm gonna be taking my M514, and I am just going to dust, oh God, these shades have so much fallout on them. You really wanna make sure to dust them off. And I'm just gonna kind of focus this like onto the lid and in the outer corner. I mean, so far the mattes are blending like pretty nicely. I don't really have a complaint with the colors that I've chosen. I don't think I'm going to use that black shade because it is just like, in my opinion, nowhere near as pigmented as I would like a black shade to be. And I feel like if I didn't have this card here, I would have so much fallout on my eye. So that's another reason why I wanted to use this card, because I already have my foundation on, so I don't want to have a shit ton of fallout on my eye. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, that looks pretty nice. Definitely is pigmented. I don't even have the first eyeshadow palette. I went through my entire eyeshadow drawers, and I have about like 4 eyeshadow drawers, and I was like, oh my God, I cannot find it. I mean, if I lift up my eye, there definitely are some spots where I feel like it could be a little bit easier to blend, but that is just me being like super hella picky. This is nowhere near as bad as the Kris Jenner palette, the one I just reviewed from Kylie Cosmetics. So if I had to compare it to like an actual patchy eyeshadow palette, this is nowhere near as bad, but I do feel like the blending situation could be a little bit better. And just so you guys are aware, I was able to do all of that from start to finish, including adding this on here in about 5 minutes, which is actually pretty good. Usually if I'm working with an eyeshadow palette and I see that it takes me more than 5 minutes to do my whole like transition gradient effect thing going on here, then I know it's like a palette that I'm gonna have a tough time working with. But so far this has been very nice and easy to kind of work with here. So what I'm going to do is take this E14 brush from Morphe and take this Sandalwood shade and mix it with Henna just a little bit. Now these shades are insane. They have insane fallout, guys. They're blending, they're working. It's not a subculture situation, but there's fallout. So you have to be very aware and very careful of that. And I'm gonna leave the inner corner of my eye plain because I'm thinking I want to pop some like of the yellow gold on there or some situation. I would love to hear what you guys think about this whole rebranding. I personally don't think it's fair, especially because I saw like on Huda's posts and just like doing a little bit of research, like kind of learning about like, you know, why this was remastered and like why this whole thing is being done. I know her old palette like officially went out of stock or something like that, or they had advertised that it wasn't coming back, like this was the last chance you could get it, and now they reformulated it with better shadows or better formula shadows. And I just don't think that that's fair to like consumers. Like if I bought her palette when they were advertising that it was going to be gone forever, and then this new one just came out, like I would be really, really pissed as a consumer. I just don't think that that's really fair. Like, that's just me being blatantly honest. I would say that about any brand. I would say it about Kylie, Tarte, Smashbox, any freaking brand. I don't think it's fair to revamp an eyeshadow palette once you already kind of tell your audience that it's going to be gone forever. I don't think that that's fair. So I'm going to continue with the lower lash line. I am concerned with this because I do feel like this could get a little, fallouty. But let's see what we're working with. I'm taking my E36 from Morphe, and I'm going to be mixing the shade Sandalwood and Henna, and I'm just going to rub that on the lower lash line here, and I'm going to be very careful with this because, like I said, there is a shit ton of fallout. So if that bothers you as a consumer, you definitely want to take that into consideration because there is dust all over my beauty desk, or my filming desk rather. Okay, so I'm thinking I'm going to take the shade 24 Carat and I'm going to pop that on the inner corner of my eye. This actually is like a look. I saw that Makeup by Ariel. I saw him do this look and I really, really, really liked it. I thought it was like so pretty and like effortless, like very, very effortless and very pretty and classic. So I was like, oh my God, this is gorgeous. One thing that does confuse me about Huda's eyeshadow palettes, like even when the first Rose Gold edition came out, I remember sitting there filming in my house in New York, which was like so long ago, which kind of reminds me and makes me feel like I want to recreate my first makeup tutorial because I feel like that could be a really funny video. But I don't like how like there's apparently like 30,000 ways you're supposed to use this eyeshadow palette. Like I remember when it first came out, people were like, I don't like this. I don't like how it works with a brush. And then I believe Huda's team made a statement that was something like, you're supposed to use the eyeshadow palette with your fingers and not brushes. So like, I don't know. As far as I can remember, that's like what I heard and that's what I remember. And that just also kind of makes me confused. I'm going to use this with a brush because that is how I like to use eyeshadows. But I will try to do a little bit of like finger situation. I mean, it does work, but in my opinion, like I don't really like going in with my finger for eyeshadow. Like I like to use a packer brush with my primer water. So I'm just going to do that. This is my M224 and I'm just going to, oh, there she is. You see what I'm saying, guys? What a difference it makes when you use like my primer water or anything like that with eyeshadow. It makes such a huge freaking difference. It's insane. Okay, guys, so I am going to quickly do my other eye off camera and I will be right back to do some liner, pop on some lashes, and give you some like final thoughts here on this shadow palette. I want to show you guys though, just so you can see, I applied one layer of that 24 karat gold shade, and this is about like 3 to 4 layers, so you definitely do need to layer this shadow on, and I even feel like even when I'm layering it on, it's still not as like pigmented as I would like it to be. For liner, I am going to be using the Tarteist Double Take, and I'm just going to basically follow that line. Oh wait, I need to do my bottom shadow. What am I doing here? My lower lash line. So again, just mixing Sandalwood and Sienna and just connecting. And I think I'm going to add some of that 24 karat to the lower lash line to kind of like make it look like symmetrical. All right, back to liner. I'm just going to follow and connect it on in. And then fill in the blanks. Okay, so I use my velour lash glue, which literally I'm at the bottom of the barrel, and I have the Mykonos from Lily Lashes, and I'm just popping these suckers on, and damn, what a difference it makes. And then while I have you guys here, I will show you quickly how I trim my lashes. I like to trim from the back because I feel like if I trim from the front, the way that most eyelashes that I use are designed is they go from like large to smaller in the front, and I don't want to take away from that smaller part in the front, otherwise I'll look literally crazy, or at least that's just my opinion. So I kind of just take the lash and I clip off the last 2 little sections here. like so. And that's pretty much all I do. I just take off like that much from the lash. I don't know if you guys could see that, but I pretty much just take off that much. And then just pop this baby on as well. I usually pop down in the center, make sure that is secure. Then I push down the outer corner. And lastly, I always kind of push in the inner corner. And then I just kind of take my tweezer and squeeze the lashes together. Alright guys, so we are all zoomed out, and pretty much my final opinions on the Huda Beauty Rose Gold Remastered is that if I have to say like formula wise, like comparing formulas, yes, this palette does feel like it is a better formula from her first one. Do I think they should have remastered this, remade this palette? Absolutely not. I don't think there's any point to it. If anything, you're just gonna make your customers angry by doing that. You know what I mean? I know at least I would be angry if I ran out and bought the rose gold palette and then a couple months later or whatever it is, there's a remade version of it with better formula. Like, I know as a consumer, I would be really, really pissed. As far as like recommending it, I mean, if you are in the looks for eyeshadows that look like this, the colors that I used worked pretty well. I mean, I have to say, guys, I'm not really that impressed with the shimmer shades, which for me usually is the opposite. For me, it's usually like I'm always saying I'm not impressed with the matte shades, but I felt like the couple matte shades that I did use, they did perform well, whereas like some of the shimmer shades that I dived into, I was kind of like disappointed in. For example, the shade Blessed here, it got all like discombobulated and just really, it feels so weird. I don't know how to explain it. Me personally, I would not go out and buy this palette. Now, if you are a fan of Huda and you like these shades, I mean, they do work. Is it the best eyeshadow palette I've ever used? No, I don't think so. And I don't know. I just can't really get past the fact that this is a remade palette because I just don't personally think it's fair. Like, I don't think it's fair. Now you're sitting with two of the same palette in your room and one of them is a better formula than the other. Like, I just personally don't think that that was a fair idea. I think it would have been cooler if they just made a whole different palette in general. I don't want to sit here and shit on someone's like hard work because you can tell that there was a lot of thought that went into the packaging and stuff like that. I just really can't get past the fact that it's just a remade palette with better formula. I don't really think that's fair. So if you can get past that whole thing, then yeah, this is a really pretty palette. It's probably my favorite. I mean, it's hard to say. It's just really hard to say. But anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed this review. If you like what you see, make sure to subscribe down below. Also, let me know what you guys are thinking about this whole like remastered palette situation. I'm very, very curious if you guys have the same opinions or if you like the idea. So leave me a comment down below and I will see you guys next time. I love you so much. Thank you so much for watching. Yeah, okay. Bye.